Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. We're still in the 2019 election season, and we're concluding as we go along. There are those states that are inconclusive, but let me quickly tell you about my guest this morning. We got Honorable Olusegun Olulade of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Good morning, and thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
Indeed, it is our pleasure. And Majid Jamiu, Mr. Jamiu is Executive Editor, Upshot Media. Thank you very much, as always, Majid, for coming in.
Good morning.
Indeed. Now, zooming in is what we're calling this. That is, everything is going on the way it is, but there will be these little, aspects of it. Maybe not so much, maybe not so little to those who are directly affected, but, part of the whole. And I'm talking here about zooming into the situation of two politicians who have won their elections. Interesting circumstances. Both of them have been suspended by their party. I'm talking about Governor, Amosun of Ogun State and Governor Okorocha of Imo State. Both of them contested they were suspended by the party because they endorsed, supported, and indeed campaigned for a governorship candidate in their state other than that which their party wanted and supported. Now, both of them have gone to the Senate, won the elections to the Senate, but in the list that is returned, that will be sent to the Senate as the list of duly elected senators, one of them, Governor Okorocha, his name has been omitted. It is missing from that list. This is interesting because why was it omitted? It's old news now. The returning officer has said that he made that declaration of his having won under duress, metaphoric gun to the head kind of a scenario. INEC therefore makes the call that that's not going to be allowed. Any such election, we simply will treat it the way we are treating it. So it remains to be seen, especially when this conversation comes around to become a lawyerly conversation, where all sorts of legal minds will be brought to bear on it. I thought we'd just look at it from the point of view of, if you want, the voters, what the general perception out there is about the goings on. The fact that somebody who has won the election his name has now been omitted because of the allegation that it was under duress that we made that particular declaration. Majid, what does this say to you? What do you think of the whole affair? Starting, if you will, with Okorocha's name being missing.
I think INEC is living up to its name as an independent National Electoral Commission. And the message INEC is sending to Nigerians and to all politicians is the fact that, come, guys, we are the lawful authority who can declare you winner. The case of Okorocha was, very absurd. We have a professor who is a returning officer, Professor Francis Iyebuashi or something. Professor Francis. Now the man, an elderly man, said he had to save his own life by declaring that result because they threatened to kill him. He said his life was under threat by Okorocha and his group, so he had no choice other than to declare him winner there and then, but with a caveat. Later, he wrote a memo to the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, and I think Professor Mahmood Yakubu upheld the position of the electoral of the returning officer. As a matter of fact, the results showed that Okorocha of the APC scored 97,000 plus, while the candidate of the PDP scored 68,000 plus. But from what the prof said, he said some wards and local governments, there were disruptions in some of these local governments and wards and units where the election held on February 23rd. So those results were cancelled, in which case the difference between Okorocha and the PDP candidate, I think Jones Ihebere, was more than was not up to the total registered number of voters in the affected areas, which is a major condition for which INEC can declare a result inconclusive. But then the prof said a gun or whatever, its life was under threat, as
In short, the words, he acted under duress.
he acted under duress. It's like being a gun being put on his head or something. So it didn't tell us the nature of the threats. But then he said he had to declare that result to save his life. So because it's only if he's alive that it can explain what happened. And I think INEC looked at his case and said, no, Okorosha, you are not.
Because INEC can make that kind of a call. I was listening to a professor concerning the other aspects, lesser known aspects of INEC and its authority. The prof described INEC as a sort of a quasi-judicial organization, in the sense that it can make calls. It is within its parameters to be able to make calls. So now, INEC has made this call. No doubt, it also has to accept that whatever call it makes can be challenged, and that's where the lawyers now come in, and then, if need be, we'll go all the way and have a pronouncement on it. Would you give us your thoughts on this? The election, by the figures, was won. I don't know. We have to be very careful how we meander through the facts, because why was the electoral officer under duress? Because if he wanted to declare according to his own mind, and if it didn't affect anybody, the particular people alleged against, there wouldn't be any duress. So those facts will probably now be examined by a more competent authority. But this whole concept of, look, you force anything, it might not profit you at the end.
At the end of the day.
What is that really how you see it?
Yes, I see it as a good thing for us in Nigeria. I think, what my friend and colleague here said, that is about enhancing our democratic process. Is about making sure that our INEC is also independent as they claim to be, as the name implies. So when you put someone under duress, because the man, I watched it on TV when the man was saying, I'm announcing this under duress, I'm announcing this under duress, and it was captured. So if you make any such move, because this will serve as a lesson to others, other politicians who want to also engage in such acts. If for one reason or the other you are winning, so to say, or you are losing, so to say, you must be ready to accept defeats or be courageous enough to say, thank you, whatever thing that's coming here, coming out of the election, I can either challenge it on at the court of law, or I accept the defeat.
What Majid, to return to you, this is some sort of, I don't recall readily that this has happened before, so I don't really have anything to compare it against, but maybe you search through the memories, in the lanes of your memory, maybe you can. Does this mean that the election will be invalidated and therefore does not exist and therefore will have to be conducted again, or what? What do you think?
And INEC is left with about 2 or 3 options: to disqualify Okorosha, who is already suffering another, is suffering a suspension. His party has suspended him alongside.
Yes, but let us say, without conceding that is how they go. What if he is indeed disqualified and INEC hasn't come to that stage yet?
Yeah.
What then happens to that vacancy?
No, like I said, it is INEC's call now. INEC can decide to disqualify him outrightly, at least for putting an electoral officer under duress, to forcing him to. It can be disqualified. It can be charged to court. INEC might want to be a bit mild by calling for another election.
But that would be mild in your view.
Yeah, that would be mild to call for an election. Because, you see, we should learn that elections should not be a do-or-die affair. Because if you are fine, you have an assailable or unassailable lead. You are leading according to the results declared, 97,000 to 68,000. If you are really sure of yourself, the INEC rule says an election will be declared inconclusive if the margin or the number of registered voters in the affected areas where elections were cancelled is far greater than the margin of lead between the winner and the runner-up. I mean, we have a similar situation in Adamawa as we speak, where Fintiri of PDP is leading the incumbent, the APC candidate with about 32,000 votes. But the total number of registered votes in the affected areas is about 40-something thousand. But that is not the joker. The joker there is that PDP is now saying that those who collected PVCs out of the 40-something thousand that registered is just about 30,000, which means the margin of lead is about 32,000. It's greater than those who collected PVC, so their candidate ought to have been declared. But then INEC only deals with registered voters, not those who collect PVC or not. So, but in the case, it's a similar case we have with Okorocha. But the Professor Francis didn't tell us why he declared it inconclusive. He didn't tell us the margin. No, we have the margin of lead. Which if you take 68,000 from 97,000, you come to about 29,000. Now, but we don't have the registered number of voters in the areas affected in Imo West Senatorial District. So, like you said, the options open to INEC: disqualify Nwosu, disqualify Okorocha, take him to court, call for a rerun, or call for a supplementary election. So those options are there. But then also recall that it's already suspended by his party for anti-party activities.
What does that mean? He's suspended from his party. Yeah. Amosun for now, Governor Amosun for now doesn't seem to have any problem apart from the fact
his fate hangs in a balance. He's also suspended.
Well, also suspended.
He's suspended from his party,
from
but so far
anti-party activities.
Okay. They are both suspended from the party for anti-party activities. And
meaning that he supported a candidate other than his own party's candidate.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, for Amosu, it now depends on the level the party will want to go. Yeah. If the party decided to expel him eventually, if normal panel is set up and all sort of things, and he came to defend himself or whatever, at the end of the day, he might be expelled from the party. And if that is not, even with this, what is happening with Okorocha today, Okorocha, if, for instance, if INEC decided to go ahead and have another election in Imo West, definitely Okorocha is in trouble. Because it is the responsibility of the party that will sponsor a candidate for any election. So, and if you being suspended from a party, you do not have any part, and in the law, in the electoral law, you must be sponsored by a party. There's nothing like an independent candidature. So which party will now sponsor Okorocha for another election, except if it is supplementary? Even if it is supplementary, we have seen it happening before, Kogi.
Okay, indeed. For the moment, you're talking about Governor Okorocha. Now, yes. Moving over to Governor Amosun, yes. Both of them are in the same predicament of being suspended by the party.
Yeah.
But as you said, we don't know, since INEC has omitted his name. That is the name of Okorocha. That's a different.
That's a different ball game.
Now, Amosun is, going on to the Senate. In spite. Well, okay. Because his name was not omitted. Therefore, the system will swear him in when the day comes.
His name might not be omitted, But someone can go to court and stop him from being inaugurated as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If anybody deem it fit from Ogun State or from that senatorial district to say this man is no more a party member, because even when you are being inaugurated, it is your party that presented you to. So if you are being suspended,
Yes.
and that suspension
after the event, after your victory,
yes, that cannot be decided at the court
party
of law.
now suspends you.
And also,
is your victory
no.
is your
Also
victory
recall
in
that.
jeopardy?
Also recall that there's a new law now for members of the National Assembly or State House of Assemblies that if you defect from one party to the other, you lose your seat, except there is rancor or division within your
the
party.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
I think the same might apply for somebody who
That's
has
the
been.
word might.
Yeah.
Yes. So nobody really knows for sure how this is going to go.
That is
That's
it.
why I said this conversation. That's why I said this conversation that we're having. You can have it in two with
Because
two
as
things.
it is now,
we are talking about it now.
He is partyless.
When
He's
the
not a member
lawyers
of
get
the APC.
together and now begin to dissect it and begin to give their own legal opinions about what can be done, what cannot be done, what rights he has, what rights he doesn't have. We'll know from by then. But at least we're sort of sensitizing ourselves to what the issues are, right? Yeah. He says somebody from the party can get up, because I imagine this whole business of what lawyers call locus will also be relevant before someone will now say, what do you concern you inside? Why? Exactly. You're not even party. Get the. So if the right person so acts, it might increase the problems of Governor Amosun.
Yes.
His political problems.
Yes, because like now.
Because right now he's a member of his party, but clearly the analogy of bad boy standing in the corner is there.
He's a suspended member of the party.
Yes.
And from the look of things, except there are so many intrigues. He is very, very close to the president. But by now, Amosun ought to have understood the fact that the president could not save him by helping him to get his candidate, Akinade, to fly the flag of the APC. The party supremacy prevailed in terms, in Ogun State. Yeah. He was lucky to get the ticket of the party as a senatorial candidate, which he won. But now, the party wielded the big stick for himself and Okrocha, while the Ondo State governor, probably because of his immunity, he also did the same. He was queried. The Ondo State governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, was queried, not suspended.
Yes.
So, we have these issues. And how it's part of our evolving democracy, how this will be addressed. Because if the party writes to the clerk of the National Assembly, of the 9th National Assembly, seeking for his name to be excluded from those that will be inaugurated, the clerk might...
Well, that remains to be seen.
Yes.
These
are options.
These are theorizings,
yes.
you know.
Yes.
So
like I also said, I keep referring to this. If you defect as an inaugurated member, as a member of the National Assembly, if you defect from one party to the other, you could lose your seat. So if you are partyless and the law does not allow independent candidacy, I look at Ifeanyi Ubah is the star boy of the 9th Assembly. He's coming in on the ticket of YPP. He has a party. Mm-hmm. So he has a party. We have 62 from APC and 37 from PDP. So the 62 from APC now, excluding Okorocha, but including Amosun. So, but then it's left for APC to decide whether it will allow a suspended member to be inaugurated on June 4 or thereabout, or whichever day they choose. So it's going to be very interesting.
I don't know, when Majid referred to his closeness to the president and all of that, we know this is coming from earlier political days, right, when the president was in a different political party.
Of course, he took his the governorship candidate of a different party to the president. We all saw the pictures. We saw the videos.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think-
Knowing Buhari the way we do, at least we think we do on the outside, I don't know why he would think that Buhari could help him out in that regard of
won't.
blatant anti-party, what you politicians refer to as anti-party activities,
In fact,
aka supporting the candidate of another party.
Another party. In fact, what he did, I thank God that he was not successful in Ogun State, because that could have been a precedent for others to follow. If a sitting governor can decide to play anti-party up to that level by flagrantly coming out to say, now I've won my Senate seat, tomorrow I will be out there campaigning for another party candidate. I think that is the highest level of indiscipline. That's the highest level of anti-party activities I've ever seen in my life. Otherwise, we've been seeing people playing anti-parties like what is suggested with Akeredolu issue, where if he's not coming out, but some people are really working behind the scene to see that
So
other
that
political
one is just
party.
allegations.
That is
That
just
would not
allegation.
be conclusively
It-
proved.
proved.
Nevertheless,
It did come out.
the
It did
party
come out.
said we are watching what's
We are
going on
watching.
there. So
But
they didn't.
if-
They
if-
didn't will the biscuit with Governor Akeredolu.
Yes, if someone who is the
But something
governor,
has been said in that direction.
who is the leader of the party in that
He
state,
got a query from the
Yeah, it's a query.
it's a query, yeah. So if someone who is the leader of the party can come out openly and campaign and was seen campaigning for another party, that's the highest level of anti-party. Now, for the issue of being close to Muhammadu Buhari, the president, yes, everybody is close to him. He's
Exactly.
the father of all. He will
In
accept.
fact, it's from everybody and it's for nobody.
It's for nobody. Thank you. But all the same, you will notice that when they came, he said, okay, I receive you, you have an handshake with the man that brought, and the man said, we have adopted you as our presidential candidate. Why? He said, okay, thank you for doing so. For Dapo Abiodun, he was able to raise his hand to say,
yes,
this is
the
my
candidate of
candidate.
my party, yeah.
This is the candidate of the party. And that shows you that Muhammadu Buhari is also playing high level of politics by accepting the other candidate of the party to pay him a visit. If you want to pay him a visit, you are welcome. You can come
And
to
then
his house.
subsequently at the
But when
American
it is
Stadium,
time for
you know,
the election,
vote whatever you want.
whoever-
Yes.
Vote for whoever you want.
You want.
The president was being very, very careful there, right? Is what you're saying.
Yes.
He was being
because
discreet.
he was
you were
being
saying he was
discreet
playing politics.
because he was playing politics. Because he wanted to win. He wanted to win, and by so, if whosoever is coming up to say, I'm supporting you, you are welcome. You can support me.
Another thing the president did was, by his action, was that he didn't want to offend a long-term
One
friend.
moment, please. Is there a caller there? Hello, good morning. Kunle, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, go ahead, Kunle. Thank you for calling in.
This is the first time caller.
Oh, we're delighted to have you.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. I just want to make a contribution concerning to Governor Amos of Ogun State.
Okay.
A lot of atrocities he has committed. He has committed a lot of atrocities. Atrocities they pay back time for him. If the party can go ahead to suspend him from inaugurating as a senator, that would be better for every Ogun State citizen.
Well, okay, Kunle. Thank you. You wanted us to know that this is how you personally feel. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Indeed, noted. Thank you for calling in. But no doubt, it shall be subjected to adjudication.
Really.
Because, Governor Moson is probably going to defer to a lot of the opinions that are going on, and there will be some authority that can now say, let's look at what's on the ground here.
Sincerely,
But that gentleman Kunle has already concluded the matter and has even recommended, an option. Say, just tell them in the National Assembly that, no way, this is not going to work.
Sincerely, when I saw what was going on in Ogun State, especially on the day of the rally, I issued a statement concerning that he should be suspended and that he should even be expelled from the party. He should be sanctioned. Because no matter what, as a party man, when you know you want to be that bold or courageous as you want to let people believe that you want to challenge the status quo, you can leave the party that you were talking about. You can leave APC to go and get your candidature
other party.
APM or whatever party you are choosing, rather than staying in the party, try to destroy the party that is producing you, that gave you the ticket 4 years ago, 8 years ago, before you can become governor. Now you are there as a sitting governor. You want to destroy that party. You got the ticket as a senator, a senatorial candidate for the party, and you are also campaigning for other party candidature.
So largely, all of that also refers to Governor Okorocha, apart from the fact that his name was omitted.
Yeah.
Definitely,
No,
definitely.
otherwise identical.
Definitely.
Okorocha's problem is more compounded by the mere fact that INEC has now decided to omit its name, especially given the evidence from the returning officer, Professor
So there's yet
Francis
another level for Governor Okorocha to contend with.
to even it needs to even scale the first hurdle of getting himself into INEC list, because that is the list. If you look at the list from INEC, if you go on their website now, you will see Imo 1, Imo West, and Imo 3. Blank. That Imo West Senatorial District is where Okorocha is supposed to be, but it is blank in INEC website now. And that is the list that INEC will send to the National Assembly for inauguration. And I presume that even today as we speak, today is 13, they will be presented with a certificate of return today, which means Okorocha will not get a certificate of return.
Well,
it is your certificate of return that will present at the National Assembly before you are inaugurated. But whether Amosun will be presented a certificate of return today, I mean, is a function of what understanding INEC has with the party. But if Amosun gets the certificate of return today, and I think the National Assembly, the Senate will have their own by 10 a.m. So if he gets the certificate of return today, which means nothing will stop its inauguration.
Okay. I doubt if INEC is going to want to wade into the politics of the party.
Yeah.
But we have a call coming in from Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Now, there are. I like your assessment of Yoring. I like the way and manner you are going about the evaluation of this critical issue. But if you are talking about anti-party activities, don't you think you should also look at what is happening in Port Harcourt, for example? Right now, it is raise up your hands and come and pass. Even until now, that the elections are over, even though in this area it has been suspended. Now, we all know that APC is not on the ballot. But how do you explain Amich's involvement in these elections? Supporting excessively AAC's candidates. Now, the rationale for suspending Okorocha and Ibukunle Amosun is inconsistent with leaving Amichi. And then, if integrity is the feature on which our president flies, let us see how that will be consistent with what is happening right now. Because Amichi's own is not even hidden. As we speak, people die on a daily basis, and we know that APC is not in the ballot. So what are you doing? I mean, what is your involvement in this election?
Okay, Oche, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the call.
I want to differ with what he's saying.
Okay.
For Amici case, there is nobody from the party. So definitely, as a Nigerian, as a citizen, I have the right to choose who I'm going to vote for, who is on the ballot. Since my party is not on the ballot, I have every right, legitimate right, to vote for whosoever is on that ballot to decide who I am going to support.
So I wanted to clarify it in my mind. Okay. So what Governor, Minister
or former governor, former speaker.
Yes, the guy is actually endorsing the candidate of someone else, which cannot injure his own party's interest because his party doesn't have a horse in the race.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Majid, do you have any comments on,
Yes. Oche raised a very valid point, but I align with Honorable Olulade. I mean, it's a different kettle of fish. And that's the same reason why Akeredolu was not suspended, but was queried. because the two of them, there are no governorship candidates in the two states involved. In the case of Ondo State, is a sitting governor, but is of the APC, but there's no governorship election holding in Ondo. So he surreptitiously endorsed or supported the candidates of AA, another party. So, and I think
Surreptitiously.
surreptitiously.
You're saying
Not-
secretly.
Secretly,
Because-
not openly.
But because the chair was making the distinction that, as he put it, Amechi's own is up front.
Openly.
No. You see,
plain.
you can't even
broad
say
daylight.
No, you can't.
And you
say-
are saying there's a difference.
No, you can't say that of Amechi is even plain because APC does. I mean, there was a court ruling orchestrated by the PDP and some elements within the APC in Rivers working with the opposition to suppress the
Okay,
the
orchestrated.
party.
You see,
So-
Majid, the way you're using your words, orchestrated, you didn't stop at there was a court ruling. You now explain orchestrated
Orchestrated.
by.
Yes, you
There
see-
was just a court ruling.
Yeah, it's a court ruling, but then we are all journalists, so we
okay.
understand some of these
Okay.
things.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori,
Thank you for calling in.
and good morning to your guest.
Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, before my comment, I want to make a recommendation that TM should also be upgraded to 90 minutes. I know
Seconded.
You're referring that one of our programs has gone to 90 minutes.
We are with you,
That's the
sir.
point you're making.
And so, please, Uncle Yori, we are pleading. Otherwise, I will organize people like Reverend Dominic Yaku, Nokoro Afo, and the gentleman from Oshogbo to come and carry placard at your premises.
Anyway,
So, talking seriously, Uncle Yori,
yes.
the issue of Amosun and Okorocha, I think nobody should sympathize with any of them. You know, it's not because one is a bad person. You cannot be doing what is wrong and expect people to sympathize with you because they are kind. What happened that Amosun, what happened to the president in Ogun State is so deplorable that if I have my way, he will not get to that Senate. Now that he has been suspended, what the law says is that you must be sponsored by a political party. If the same political party has suspended you, where is your platform to go and sit in the Senate? So won't it be a contravention of the electoral law sitting in the hallowed chamber without a platform? So the lawyers need to come in here.
Indeed.
Yes.
This is why I was even. He can't decamp now.
He
In order
can't.
to say.
He can't.
He can't.
He
If
can't
he
become.
To
He cannot
safeguard
become
his-
because he has already gotten he has already won the election on the platform of a party. The party should dismiss him and bring another candidate, get a court order to validate it and send that candidate to the Senate. That's my view.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. And as I said, we're going to probably hold this conversation, where there'll be a second tier where now purely legal minds. What are the implications? implications? Probably see if we can get someone to say it from Okorocha's point of view and Amosun's point of view, and someone who is saying it from no doubt from the party's point of view.
Now, let me quickly say this.
Did I hear that? One moment, please.
Okay.
Did I hear that Yakub from Dokwemu is on the line? Good morning.
Yes.
Good
Yeah.
morning. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Shigeri.
Thank you for calling in.
Before I go on, I'm here to support the motion moving by my president. He's just calling from Ikeja. That this program must be going to 90 minutes, sir, because it's one of the programs that are giving us knowledge about this country. I would say that, Shigeri, you see, what happened in Ogun State, I'm very, very happy because you cannot be arrogant to the party that giving you a ticket to the Senate, and then you go ahead to campaign for another party. Now, if I have my way, as Mr. George rightly said, I didn't think I'm from that senatorial district, by now I could have gone to court to challenge that very particular ticket that Amos holds in order for him not to even get the ticket certificate of return. Because, come to think of it, If he finally got to the Senate, and then he wanted to support the motion as I supported Mr. George from Ikeja now, which political party he wanted to stand up and to raise his hand that I'm of two also political parties support this motion? What is that party? The party is already suspended you, but I wanted to advise the chairman of the party in general. What they need to do quickly is that they need to go ahead now and expel this very particular guy, the Amosu. They should expel him from the party. Because if they dare not expel him from the party, other people, as time goes on, in 2023, they will do the worst thing than this. That is my own opinion. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. And Yakub makes a beautiful point. You're in the National Assembly as a senator. Whose point of view are you putting across? You are suspended. You can't speak for your party.
Let me even say this, because what Mr. Moji said earlier concerning the issue of certificate of return.
Yes.
It is the constitutional right of INEC to issue certificate of return to anybody that have won an election. No. That is understandable.
It's their duty.
It's their duty. So they are still performing their duty. He has won an election, so they gave him the certificate of return. That does not make him a senator.
Yes.
If it does not guarantee he's being inaugurated as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So if the party or anybody from the party in Ogun State says tomorrow, goes to court and say, we are getting an injunction, this man should not be inaugurated, I think that suffices. Because you can't say...
But so far, are you at liberty to share with us what the party view is on this? Now, apart from there being miffed, no doubt they're angry. It's clear about the conduct of those two members of theirs. But in relation to where we got to now, is the party formulating a position? Are you party to it? Can you share any of it?
No.
So what you're saying essentially is this is the way I see it.
Yes, this is the way personal
And you see yourself as a loyal APC man.
Yes, as a loyal APC man.
And I don't know if Governor Mosun can also call himself a loyal APC man.
I don't think so. He can't say that because we
How
all
about
know
Governor
that's no
Okorocha?
one lawyer. He has done the same thing in Okorocha.
Do you think Governor Okorocha can call himself a loyal APC
They
man?
can't. The two of them can't. They can't say they are loyal to the party any longer.
We have a call coming in from Damaturu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning, the two guests there.
Good morning, Mr. Adamu.
Yeah, I just have two questions to ask.
Sure.
Okorocha was suspended from the party, and his name is not among the list submitted for inauguration.
Yeah.
What makes it different from Omosu, his name sent for the inauguration?
Okay.
Secondly, my second question is it the people who elected them have the right to withdraw them back, or the court has the right to quash them out of the system? These are my two questions.
Thank you, Adamu.
On the first question,
of what's the difference between Amosun and Okorocha's situation regarding the senatorial election victory?
Yes, no, now I think we explained that earlier, but I think probably it's just joining. It's INEC that omitted or that removed Okorocha's name.
No, he knows, but he says what's the difference in the situation?
He said why. No, he said why is Okorocha? No, but why would Amosu be presented with certificate?
Okay, that was the point that he was making.
Yes. So the point is,
okay.
Okorocha,
so what's the difference in their conduct?
The difference is they were both suspended, but Amosu has already won an election before he was suspended. But in the case of Okorocha, his own has been declared inconclusive. The returning officer, Professor Francis Imebuashi, said he
acted under duress
when
he announced him the winner.
So that's why his own is being compounded.
Okay, now he had a second question, but keep it in mind because I got to go to Mr. Dedeyi in Ikeja. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Good morning to the panelists in the house.
Good morning, sir.
God bless you. I agree that some action, they committed a lot of party activities. But I also want to say that APC has also refused to put its house in order. For instance, we know why APC allowed the crest in Rivers to be.
We lost that, but I think he laid the line that he wanted to lay.
Yeah.
Say, APC itself, Governor Lara, you know, the whole matter is not as smooth as it could be
Definitely.
in terms of
no-
how they themselves are running the internal, the smooth
internal
running of the
democracy.
internal engine.
Now, I accept that because no system is perfect. But even with that, as a party man, you have that opportunity of saying, I don't belong here. I want to move. There's no problem.
Okay, you make
But
that
if
distinction.
Yes, you should be able to say, I don't belong here. I want to move. If you move, no problem. If you stay with the party.
It's interesting.
It's a choice.
You know, it's interesting because you're a politician, you're a member of the party, and
Yes.
you nodded when the guy made that comment, and you said, you even went as far as saying, you know, I identify with aspects of what he's saying. Are you therefore saying, and that would be different, that, look, I'm a member of APC too. I'm managing.
No.
I'm managing, but if you can't manage, then leave the party.
See,
Because you said, I agree.
I
when he
agree
said
with
that.
the fact that the system is not perfect. And like I said earlier, no system is also perfect.
Okay.
So we need to improve our internal democracy from where it is today.
Okay.
And ensure that we continue
But
to...
you can still
have-
live with what
Yes,
the
but-
situation
but
is.
the situation we have now is either you are okay with it or you are not okay with it.
And if you're not okay-
If you are not okay as a party man,
Then step aside,
you
go
step
to another
aside,
party,
go to another party that you
and
think you can
enjoy all your freedoms.
enjoy
But
all
you
the
can't
freedom.
stay within the party.
within the party and destroy the party structure that you meet on the ground.
Did I hear it right? Is it Oka in Ikotun? Oscar. Good morning, Oscar in Ikotun.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
Yeah, I must commend you. You are doing a wonderful work.
You're too kind, sir.
You know, since I tuned into TVC, I've not been tuning into other stations because you give me exactly what I want to hear.
Very, very kind of you.
You know, you are doing a great work. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
You know, regarding the case of Okorocha and Amosu, you know, anybody pleading on behalf of these people is anti-Nigeria. You know, President
Now-
Buhari has said...
Oscar, you have escalated it.
Yeah.
Not anti-party, not anti-INEC, anti-Nigeria.
Yeah, anti-Nigeria, yes.
All right.
Because President Buhari has set a democratic revolution in Nigeria. You know, what he has done, I wish people can emulate what he's doing. It doesn't interfere in, you know, in what is happening. Okorocha and Amosu has proven that they are not good. They might be good governors in their states, but they are not good party men. So I support vehemently that they should be expelled from the party, not even being expelled. Being expelled is not enough, because what they have done, they have set a precedent that if they are not, you know, sanctioned, if they are not given a proper punishment, others will step on that.
So what will happen, Oscar, now that we're still talking, what do you think will happen to the electoral victory? They won as senator. According,
Yes.
in the case of Okorocha, we can't really say he has won yet because we can only take that from INEC. And INEC has said that it's so declared under duress. That is the electoral officer has said, and we're trying to sort that out.
Yeah, you know, Okorocha, from what INEC officer said, they said, you know, he tried to force the INEC officer to announce him on duress. You know, that is also an aberration. You know, regarding the other man, Amosu, the law is very specific on that if you win without a party platform, automatically your win is nullified.
But he has a party. He wasn't expelled.
Yeah, but the party has suspended him. So I'm suggesting the party should expel him. Suspension is not enough because what he did, I watched the program, what they did to the president the day the president was in Ogun State. It was very awful.
Okay.
You know, so something should not be encouraged.
Okay. Gotcha, Oscar.
So,
Thank
yeah,
you very much for calling in. Appreciate your call. Okay, the way Oscar sees it is that, look, escalate, that's what they say in customer service.
Yeah.
Escalate this action to expulsion.
Yeah.
Then Amosu doesn't have a party. And, well, I don't know. I don't know.
See, a caller said APC should put its house in order. And I think this is one of the ways whereby the party is trying to put its house in order. We saw the way Saraki emerged as Senate president. I mean, we have to go back to this because we are approaching that level again.
And the president is looking for a different National Assembly.
That is it, for the ninth
He's
assembly.
optimistic that he'll have a good
Saraki
relationship.
actually teamed up with the opposition PDP by being the first Senate president to work with a deputy Senate president from another party. It has never been heard of, even in civilized democracies. So, what we have on ground today is that the APC is trying to put, well, you might say Ochemole is high-handed, but then we need a strong person. Recall what Chief Femi Awolowo said about 40 years ago. If I paraphrase, and I said, elements from progressives and conservatives at a point will come together in Nigeria, form a party, but then the conservative elements will take their leave, and a new democratic era will emerge.
Okay, I'm going to take
if I
Tunji
paraphrase.
now. Let me take Tunji now. Good morning, Tunji in Lagos Island.
Mr. Yori, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Thank you for calling in.
I really appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Can I make my contribution
Oh,
straight away?
please go ahead.
First, in the case of Amosu and Okorocha, the suspension stands. If I'm privileged to work in a corporate environment, and I know when you have been suspended, pending the outcome of the panel or investigation set up, the next thing is for the man, if he's found culpable, which they are,
And they have to go to adjudication before you make that conclusion.
honestly, before the election, I wrote an article on Amosu and Okorocha.
Okay.
The article was about their rascality and their abuse of their position. You must also realize that the name of Amosu does not appear on the ballot. It's the name of the party that appears on the ballot.
That's it.
And therefore, the mandate, the victory belongs to the party, not for Amosu, more so that he has done the sworn in. So Amosu should be expelled from the party. Not only being expelled, he should be tried.
What would you try him with? Wait a minute, Tunji. What would you?
That was why he was trying to make it mandatory.
Okay. Sorry. Those are allegations we can't really go into.
I can prove it if you want to come and prove it.
I'm sure you could, but we don't have the time.
I have incontrovertible facts to nail Amosu.
We hope that's not why you called in. We just wanted you to address the issue which you are so kindly obliged us. Thank you very much for calling in.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Feelings are high, but we don't want it to get out of hand.
Beyond what we see here, if we roll back the tape and looked at what happened, especially when the president visited Ogun for the mega rally, it was an aberration. It was absurd, and it was demeaning on the office of the president of the federal.
All of that is bad conduct, perhaps. There are those, especially from within the party, who will see it as bad conduct. But that's a totally different thing, and I'm sure they're going to try and separate the issues.
And that is why. Different thing. I think we need to let Nigerians know this. During that, there are videos of live videos of the event where the posters and A-frames of the candidate of the party were being removed from inside the stadium.
But he
was
the
candidate.
Returned. He was declared, and that's the big difference. And that declaration that was made as the winner.
But in Imo State, the party lost because, and if you add the votes of the APC. and that of the candidate sponsored by the by Okorocha, if you add the two together, it would have defeated the opposition candidate. APC was just lucky in Ogun to win by the whiskers. It was a slim win.
Okay, let me take Adenike in Ogba. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. I can hear you. Please go ahead.
You are wasting my credit. You pay me. Good morning.
Good morning.
My own contribution is this one. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
My own contribution is this one. Yes. My contribution is this one. We are happy for the election. But one thing is this one, there must be discipline in the party hierarchy. These two people must be expelled from the party. And I want to tell you something. This morning I was shedding tears because we have so much money in this country. But it's in the hands of individuals that call themselves politicians. And we are not enjoying this money. What are they using this money for? What is their stake in the care of people in Nigeria. And let me just tell you something. These people should be put on salary.
Or
If they are on
politicians.
salary, they are being paid salary. There will be no ranking and running to that place to go and take money. They are all there to take money. Amosi was there as a senator 8 years. He was there as a governor 8 years. Coming back again. Is there nobody in Ogun State? It's because of the money they are seeing there. Please let them place all of them on salary.
Okay.
So that when they are on salary,
They are on salary, madam.
They are on salary.
They are on salary.
We
It's
are
just
on
that their
salary. We are on salary.
Is out of this world. Their salary and everything else attached to the salary, most Nigerians think is out of this world. We are privileged to have one of them among us. He's here. But
My friend is
you
on salary.
but
I'm on salary.
Adenike pointed out just there, Madam Adenike pointed out just there that Amosu was in the Senate before. He's going back again. What I just took out of that is that, therefore, he will be called a ranking senator.
Yes.
And ranking senators have certain privileges,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So all of that, I imagine the party is just smarting. I don't even know if this whole ranking business, if they can do anything about it, because they might not like it. But if Amosun is striding into the National Assembly, into the Senate, and he's almost like the SAN to the ordinary lawyer.
Don't forget that he took that ticket from somebody else who was also a senator representing our party, Ted Joshua, who was also who should have been a ranking member of the Senate. So you cannot use that ranking thing for this particular case now, because when you talk about ranking, Senator Ted Joshua was also a ranking member. He could have also been pushed forward, but he took it because of his position.
Okay, but going back to Madam Adenike, she has even said, like some other people have said, that APC should just go ahead and sack these guys.
Honestly,
just go again. Expel.
I think that was the general consensus from the callers.
At least from the few callers that did make it. Okay, this is the if I understand it. In fact, that was the Abeokuta incident.
Thing, yes.
It's
a
that
crime
was when the
against
president
Nigeria. It's a
went
crime
to campaign,
against the presidency
and that was
of
Governor
country.
Amosun in action there, and it came to a stage where
you can see that Abiodun was in another attire.
Yeah.
They did not even give him the attire of the party. Members of APC were chased away from the rally. They were beating blue black. So we had APM members in a rally.
Were you there? So we heard.
You can see him struggling. You can see the governor struggling with the mic.
You can see the attire of Oshoba and
Abike was. I think there was a wrestling match, sort of an arm wrestling match for the mic. Well, all of that happened in Ogun. Here we go. Here we are. I guess we have to go. The vice president at that time trying to return calm to the situation. All of that is in the background. Yeah. So I don't know. That's our program. As I said, we'll probably have this conversation again with a bunch of lawyers and see what else there is to learn about this. But I want to thank you very much, Honorable Olusegun Olulade, Lagos State House of Assembly, Mr. Majid Jamiu, Executive Editor, Upshot Media. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.